Hello, YouTube. It's Valentine's Day. Woohoo! February 14th, 2023. It's Tuesday. 11:44 p.m. Well, hey, I managed to get out of the house before midnight, so that's something. I'm not sure what time I woke up. I don't recall. I've been up for a while, though. I want to say it was around, I don't know, maybe 9:15 when I woke up. I don't even remember the alarms going off to get me up for work. Don't remember them going off at all. So I mentioned I just pretty much destroyed my Obama phone. Last week at work, I dropped it. Put a few additional cracks in its already shattered screen, but finally cracked it in such a way that it's not usable. It's black in the upper left-hand corner, and then the rest of the screen, which isn't black, it's just scrambled. It's almost impossible to make out what's on the screen. It's so scrambled, and it doesn't sense touches at all, so I can't even unlock it. I did let the thing completely discharge. It shut off, and then powered it back in, and it charged back up. Obviously, the screen's still screwed. I did notice, though, that I've got 2 alarms set on it. I forget what time they go off, but they're both set, pretty much to get me up for work at my regular times. And I've since plugged it in, and it's done pretty good about being the additional alarm I need. Sometimes I just straight up don't wake up, and it's rough because I live alone, so I don't have really anybody to look out for me or help me out with these kind of struggles. I'm just kind of on my own coping, with life until at whatever time I finally get to check out. But anyway, I'm lying if I said I wasn't looking forward to that at this point. So it's been going off. I don't know if it went off today or what. I don't recall hearing it yesterday either. And I didn't actually look for the phone today. I was just kind of thinking about it just now when I mentioned that I didn't hear my alarms going off. I'm wondering if that one's still serving its purpose as an alarm. Of course, I do have some old school alarm clocks around the apartment. I guess I could always turn on one of those, set it to, hell, I could, they're the old school alarm clock radios. I could set it to where it sets off an alarm and I wake up to KTAR, which would be actually pretty nice. Of course, that would require me doing a little more cleaning and searching in my apartment, but I know I have at least 2 of them in the apartment, probably more. So on a brighter note, speaking of phones and the Obama phone being screwed, seems like I got an email from Assurance Wireless telling me that I'm eligible for a free new phone or something. I don't know. Every time I try to go through my inbox and my email, I'm just so overwhelmed by it that I never seem to really get all that far in finding it. There's so much crap in my inbox these days that it's hard to. Anytime something that matters gets through to me, it's just kind of a miracle at this point. On that note, I got a phone call last week from my new case manager at the mental health clinic, which I haven't been to in a while. I got a phone call from her. I have to do some kind of a written plan, like once a year with you there, just as far as like what your goals are for life and whatever. Life treatment, is there something the clinic can still do to help? I mean, for me, it's more of tough part with doing anything with the clinic is it opens. I do good to wake up in time to get to work, which for the last 2 days I haven't even managed to do that. So getting up in time to go do an appointment at the mental health clinic and then go to work, yeah, it's really asking a lot. And generally speaking, like, I try to go to sleep before they open. Now, often I don't manage to accomplish doing that, but I'm certainly undressed and in bed and wishing I was asleep by the time they open. And at that point, I generally don't feel like getting dressed and driving back to 3rd Street to go to the clinic. In fact, I don't really feel like going much anywhere ever these days. Anyway, I did get an email from my case manager. I told her, said the best thing to do, because I know they won't do text messages. Since they have like a landline type phone system that's not text message compatible, and of course nobody that works at that clinic wants any of their mentally ill clients to have their cell number. So yeah, no text messaging, even though that's like really probably the most effective way to reach me these days. I don't know. It's a crapshoot. Which is more effective, text message or Snapchat message? Both are usually pretty good, but both always have a chance of slipping through the cracks. But both exponentially better than calling me on the phone, since most times when somebody would call me on the phone, like, I'm sound asleep, and even if I'm not, unless I have that phone number saved as a preset and I recognize it, I don't answer it. Most of the time it's just some kind of actually most of the time it's that fucking that scam, that illegitimate scam cruise company trying to scam more money out of me. I already lost thousands of dollars to those people, so it just frustrates me that they still call. And of course they always spoof phone numbers, so I can block the number they call at, and it always just shows up as a different number the next time they call. So it's pretty fucked up. Anyway, speaking of phones, I forget what day it was. I mean, it's been a couple days now, but I also dropped my iPhone 7 Plus. I don't remember when, and that's the only phone I have that functions at this point. I don't remember when exactly I did that. That's what I'm shooting video on right now, by the way. I don't remember exactly when I did it or where I did it. I didn't see, like, I picked up my phone and I didn't notice it was broken. It was only later I went to use it that I noticed that, oh great, I fucked my screen again. Now, I've been having problems with the screen anyway, with it regularly registering light touches and taps in locations where I'm not touching it, and when I'm not touching it, which has resulted in some messages just getting deleted and some things, getting marked as read when I haven't read them. It's problematic. It's also kind of annoying because sometimes when I'm typing something, with that plus autocorrect, it ends up trying to change my words, and I gotta just watch my shit like a hog to make sure that my screen glitch is not causing me to post things that are different than what I mean to say. Also, it does, sometimes when I'm typing, it'll make the keyboard just completely freeze. And sometimes it's so bad that I have to basically hit the home button, close whatever application I'm in, relaunch the application, and try to figure out where I was, get back to whatever it was I was typing. And a lot of times that's just such a frustrating effort that I just don't even bother. I'm just like, oh, I guess the phone gods just determined I'm not participating in whatever this was. Anyway, so yeah, not even getting a lot of things done online with my phone these days. Speaking of getting things done, I feel like I've probably passed the expiration date on my registration on my car and my insurance. I don't really remember when that was due, but they used to always, I don't know. I mean, obviously something would have been sent in the mail. Oh, and as I mentioned when I did the video running errands the other day, when I did the video running errands the other day, that I went to the post office to find out that they didn't have any, that they didn't have any mail for me there. That apparently the postal carrier had decided that I didn't live there anymore because I hadn't been checking my mailbox. So I went to my mailbox to put the new resident card in it, which the postal clerk gave me. So you basically treat it like you just moved there. That's the only way your mail carrier's going to start delivering you mail again. I'm like, oh, it's fabulous. It's a weird thing to do when you've lived in a place for over 6 years. But anyway, when I went to the card, I noticed that he had removed the label that had my name on it and replaced it with a label that says unoccupied. So thank you for that, Mr. Mailman. I miss having just a regular mailbox where I don't have to fuck with a key and walk across a yard. And even more so, I miss having a mail slot. I think that's what I had when I lived in, when I had my house in Tucson. I think I had a slot that just stuck in the front door. Of course, I can just imagine the pile of unopened mail that would be sitting in front of my front door if I had that. I don't know. I just wish I didn't get delivered so much garbage. It's just the main reason I don't like checking my mail is because I just have to sift through so much fucking garbage. It's just overwhelming. Anyway, so yeah, iPhone screen is pretty messed up right now, and I still haven't resolved the issue of my home button being semi-dysfunctional, which also makes the phone difficult to use. I'm thinking I'm going to take the screen back to the store that did it, even though I questioned the quality of the replacement screens he's using, but generally speaking, the service has been good there, so I think I'm going to try to go back there and have him replace the screen. Now, I think he told me the deal with the home button, that he could replace it, but that only the Apple store could re-enable it to where it works, that I can unlock it with my thumb. Oh, damn it, more rain. I hate driving in rain. In fact, it was storming when I woke up. That's the main reason I waited so long to come into work, because I just didn't feel... I was super depressed when I woke up. I spent, oh, great, we got people wiped out in the rain and wrecked their cars right there. Good times. Yeah, sorry, my brain is like jello today. Yeah, I woke up, I was super depressed because Valentine's Day. Now, I want to say shortly after midnight, Priscilla did send me like this cute little thing with 2 cats and animated hearts that said "My Valentine," which was kind of sweet. And then I had asked her a question in text a little bit later, and she never responded to that. It didn't come by to actually, give me a happy Valentine's Day at all today. So, and I even left the deadbolts unlocked, that way she could get in if she wanted to. But nope, didn't happen. Anyway, and I'm not the slightest bit surprised. And to be fair, I didn't get her do anything for her for Valentine's, because I just couldn't be feeling it any less these days. It just is what it is, I guess. Oh God, where was I going with this? So iPhone screen kind of hosed. I want to go there. But yeah, I think he's going to have to replace my screen and just not replace my home button. I'm going to have to get that done at the Apple store, which I've been saying I'm going to do that for many weeks and just haven't. It's all daytime stuff. I'm just not awake in the daytime. And the occasion, the random occasions when I do actually manage to get up in the daytime, and try to go out and do stuff, for the most part, I'm just so apprehensive about being around people and being out in the sunlight that it's just a real struggle. It really is. Just to the point where just the thought of going out in the daytime and being around people is so completely overwhelming that that I just deal with, things being as they are. Just keep trying to go to work enough so as to have money to pay my bills and not lose my job. On that note, between the 2 hours yesterday and 5 hours today, I'm definitely upside down on my UPT. I still have more than enough PTO to counter it, so I'll do that. Yesterday was kind of odd with showing up late. So after I finished the video and went in, when I walked by the time clock to clock in, it was exactly straight up 9 o'clock, which gives me no reason to get on the A to Z app to add PTO for an incomplete hour where I would get zapped for an hour of UPT. Like, I was exactly 2 hours late. I would assume I got exactly 2 hours of UPT taken away from me. I mean, I haven't looked at the A to Z to verify that. And at this point, it might be in my best interest to put 2 hours of PTO on those hours. But I don't know, I just thought it was very odd that I came in at 2 o'clock. Oh, and I was talking about the girl that I can never remember her name. I don't know that she ever told her name, but I saw her name the other day when I was looking at her orange tag. And I noticed a stand-up yesterday, a bunch of people in my department have orange tags. I don't know how I never noticed that before. Anyway, I did see her name on both her orange tag and her regular blue ID tag. And the girl that in my head I keep calling Bug, which is a terrible thing to call her. I don't know why, that's just stuck in my head, but I got to give her a name of something, and it's just too awkward for me to ask her name. So yeah. But yeah, I saw her name, and it's definitely Hispanic. But it's not a common first name, and I wouldn't even have the first clue how to pronounce it. Not a particularly common last name either, but definitely a Hispanic name. Anyway, she's really sweet with me these days. I mean, we don't talk much, really. In fact, we talked more the other day, Saturday night, more than we ever have, just because she was working at the zone right next to me. And she was actually asking me for some advice on how to do loading as a forklift driver. She goes, you're insanely fast. She goes, I just, was kind of curious, like, how I did it, that I was so much faster than everybody else, which made me feel good. I'm like, wow, nice that that's noticed by somebody. And then I pointed out to her that some of it isn't even as much that I'm faster than other loaders, but that I'm really fast at empty. And I showed her, like, my strategy of how I always empty as much as I can and make a point to make space in the loading zones for the water spiders, and then immediately close the gates. That space is available. So that's probably giving the illusion to you when since you water spider way more often, it's probably giving you the illusion that I'm fast, when in actuality I'm probably not loading the pallets in the truck as fast as some of the other drivers. I'm just making space available to you guys to bring more freight fast, which to me is a really important thing, and I think overall makes me more productive, because I work in such a way that I'm not holding off other people's productivity. That's something I always try to work on, but I notice a lot of people don't really seem to think that way. Anyway, she's been working with me for a while. I certainly noticed her at quite some time ago at stand-up. I mean, I'm stand-up looking around at the other people at stand-up. I'm like, holy shit, I've never seen her before. Damn, she's cute. That's certainly the first thought that entered my mind. And all right, it's I was gonna say it's straight up midnight, but it's actually midnight 04, as if the time is right on my Saturn clock. Hello. It always trips me out on roads like this where I see all these semis parked with drivers presumably sleeping in the cabs. Which I guess is to be expected in a warehouse district. I'm almost to work. And I'm just driving a long way to kill time. It's not like there's traffic to avoid at 5 minutes after midnight. So, anyway, yeah, my first thought is, damn, she's cute. I didn't really approach her. I didn't really say anything to her. I mean, I just hear so much negativity from women that I do know about guys hitting on them and flirting with them and quote unquote trying to spit game. What the fuck? Wow, this must be the line of trucks trying to get into my warehouse. Look at that. 2 Amazon Prime trailers in a row. That guy leaving enough space to park another semi in front of him. JB Hunt trucks. Oh yeah, we get a lot of JB Hunt trucks. There's an Amazon trailer. Okay, that guy's actually right in leaving that space because he's making it so people can get out of the driveway. So kind of him not to block the driveway. Come to think of it, the other guy might have been doing the same thing. All right, these guys are actually blocking the lane. More Amazon trailer, Amazon Prime trailer. That was just plain and white. Yeah, that's all backup trying to get. Oh my Lord. Wow. Hang on, I just want to share this with everybody. This is certainly a view I've never seen of my warehouse, but the reviews of my warehouse by by truckers left on Google Maps is scathing. But holy shit, look at this. Just a line of trucks going in the gate as far as the eyes can see. I'm gonna go back around because I mean it right now it's just after the start of break and there's no I can't clock in until 12:30 anyway. I was just gonna go in a little bit early and eat some pie. I got some pie that I got from the bakery clearance a couple days ago at Fry's. It's starting to taste a little bit old, but still pretty good. It's like peach praline, really rich, but really sweet, really good. Half pie, so I cut 1/3 off of it. I still got 2/3 to go. God, so many trucks. Oh my God, now it's worse. Now they're backed up. Oh, look at that. Now that guy made the turn and he's actually blocking the southbound port. I mean, what does a trucker do in a situation like that? But yeah, his tail end of his truck is actually, can you see the stripes on the road? His tail end of this truck is actually blocking the crosswalk and blocking the southbound straight traffic lane. Now, I could turn right. In fact, I could turn right on red right now, but that truck just makes that into a deadly blind corner for me. So I'm just gonna patiently sit here until the light changes. Now, somebody just now pulled up behind me, so he's probably gonna get irritated that I'm not turning right on red, but I see the countdown timer and it's at 2 seconds, so I can wait, so can he. Wow. So he must have, so that line grew at the time that I went past the gate and did my U-turn. So, wow. Hang on, I want to get this on video too. Okay, I still got like 20 minutes to kill before I can clock into work anyway. More trucks on the side of Van Buren, probably sleeping. But look at that line of trucks. All the way down 79th Avenue, and then I wish it was more in focus, but yeah, that didn't help at all. In fact, that made it actively worse. Sorry, the autofocus is so god-awful on my iPhone, people, but look at that. There's the gate, and all the way across our parking lot, semi after semi after semi, to about the middle of the building. Now, I'm not sure where I don't know. Wow. And I'm going to certainly ask about that when I get inside. it's been the word in the warehouse that Tom team here is massively understaffed. It's not a job I have any desire to do, so I'm not even putting myself out there for it. Now, maybe if it came with like a $2 an hour raise, I'd be interested. But I look at it this way: if Amazon pays the same amount based solely on tenure for tier 1 associates, what's my motivation to do a job that isn't of interest to me? I may as well just do what I enjoy, and I'm currently doing what I enjoy. So that's what's up with that. Until the powers that be decide to start putting more money on some of the less desirable jobs, people aren't going to do it. Although, from what I gather, Tom Team is one of the more desirable jobs to a lot of people. It doesn't appeal to me. You know what? I bet part of the problem, it's been raining like crazy today. I forgot about that. So our docks, when it rains like that, tend to leak. So no trucks can get docked or undocked. They just have to close the doors if it starts to leak into the truck, into the trailers. So I bet that's the source of all this problem. Above and beyond, of course, there not being enough people on Tom Team. In fact, the running joke at the warehouse lately has been that it's called Tom Team just because it's two guys named Tom. But I've heard it's not unusual for there to literally be only 1 or 2 people out there moving trucks. 1, 2, 3 people. Yeah, sometimes the delay to get a trailer swapped out it'll be crazy. We'll put in the order for the move on the trailer, and it'll be a challenge for me to stop water spiders from putting more product at a closed door into the loading zones. I'll be like, oh, but it says that ARC on the door. And I'll be like, do you see that the door is closed? Yeah, that's because we're waiting for Tom Team to take that trailer away. We don't have another truck coming for that. It's probably going to be a different ARC. So if you could please stop putting that stuff here. That way, when we do get another truck here, there's room for you to put the stuff for that truck here. And it's amazing how many of the water spiders, that simple concept, just, huh? I don't understand. Leadership's going to have to tell me that. Motherfucker, I'm the leadership for this loading zone. Anyway. Yeah, I need to do something about my registration and my insurance. I need to do something about my iPhone. I need to do something about getting a second phone. Probably should try to search for that email and follow up on getting the Obama phone replaced. And if I go to the Apple Genius store, I should also bring... I did find my first iPhone. I'm sure I mentioned this on a vlog. It's been quite some time. I did find, in my closet, of all places, my very first iPhone 6S Plus. Which was also stolen from me. I feel like that was after, yeah, that was definitely after or before I started vlogging. But that one was stolen from me when Priscilla was in the process of moving out of her apartment in Tempe. I had popped into her place to help her move a couple of boxes, and then I was also grabbing a couple scooters there. Maybe I was bringing scooters up to her place to charge, something like that. And I left the phone sitting in my Benz. I left my Benz unlocked, and some scumbag stole my iPhone out of my Benz, which was a real inconvenience, of course, because I was, working Lime, and I had scooters, and then suddenly I had no access to the Lime app to deal with those scooters. So I don't remember how I dealt with that, but I know it was a very difficult thing to deal with. But anyway, that particular phone I did end up getting back from Tempe PD. I reported it stolen, reported it to the police, and gave them the ESN, which fortunately had something. Actually, I bought that one from our friend Jeff, who I've completely lost touch with, also known as Cell Phone Jesus. That's back when he used to still have his store. It was called the Wireless Phone Booth over on Indian School Road, near where Lily's mother's apartment used to be before she disappeared with my daughter. And over there at his store, he kept records of all the electronic serial numbers of phones, so he was able to look it up on the invoice and give me that so I could pass that on to the police. So anyway, pass that on to the police when the phone was stolen. The person who stole the phone, well, not necessarily the person who stole the phone, could be the person that bought it from the person who stole the phone or traded it for dope or what. Who knows what happens with stolen goods like that. It could have changed hands several times between the person who stole it out of my car and the person who brought it to one of those kiosks somewhere that gives you cash for used phones. And yeah, not a good thing to do with a phone that you don't know the source of, because the way those things work, you have to plug them in, and then it goes into a drawer, and the drawer closes, and it does this scan for the help of the phone. There's some visual things that kind of look at it to get, cameras to get an idea of what its physical condition is, cosmetic condition. And anyway, when it does those scans, if it gets a wow, it's so weird how that's swaying. The car's not moving at all. I don't understand why it's shaking side to side like that. Hopefully the final video doesn't look like that. Anyway, yeah, so it checks, and one of the things it checks is, of course, is the I think it's called the IEMI or IMEI number of the phone, which is basically the digital serial number for the phone. It checks that against databases of stolen phones. Or maybe it checks it with Apple, and Apple has a database of that. I don't know the technical specifics of how it works, but anyway, it checks. And if a phone that you're turning into trying to get cash for at one of those kiosks, if the search on it comes up that it's a stolen phone, it doesn't return it. It just tells you are in possession of a stolen phone. And then, of course, that person, like, there's a camera on the kiosk, so that person, like, just got their picture taken for law enforcement. Like, yeah, this is a stolen phone. We're just gonna go ahead and keep it and give it to the police. Thanks for visiting Phone for Cash kiosk. And I don't know if they ever did anything to the people that got it. I could really give a fuck, because, as I said, there's a good chance that the person who was trying to trade the phone for cash isn't the person who stole it from me. And the fact that that person is out, in the middle of the night, peeking in Benzes, peeking in random cars looking for stuff, it tells me that he's got a miserable enough life that he's being punished enough. Anyway, I did get that phone back quite some time later. That's how it was obtained, according to the police. And it came back in a bag, but then when I powered it up, I had no way, like, it was locked, and they've since changed the phone print sensor, and I've never been able to get into the phone. And at that point, I'd already replaced it with another somewhat better one, so it didn't, I just put it in a box and put it in my closet, forgot to put it in my closet, found it a few months ago. It's been several months now, but anyway, within the last, I don't know, maybe 6, 7, 8 months ago, something like that, I found it. Anyway, if I go to I really need to, when I go to the phone to handle this thing's home button and get it to where it works with my thumbprint, because trying to type in a 6-digit PIN number is a pain in my ass, especially with a kind of wonky screen. Yeah, to me, not sensing my fingerprints is just one of the most. It just takes a lot of the functionality of it being an iPhone away from it for me, and not being able to, of course, multitask and switch apps by tapping on the button because the button's so wonky, the home button. Anyway, as long as I'm going in there, I may as well bring that other phone. And I know it's tied to that police report and my name. At one point in time, I did have that phone also. In fact, I don't think I ever removed it from the profile. Added that phone to my Apple account. My Apple account that, has my iCloud and all that shit in it. They should be able to look that up, verify. That should be enough verification that it's my phone for them to do something about it. Of course, God knows what they're going to charge me for it, because Apple's greedy like that. But it'd be, actually having both of those phones would be pretty much awesome. As far as which one to keep my service on, I'm kind of indifferent, but I should really make the time to do that. That would make my life better. Anyway, I need to get inside. It says 15 after, which means it's actually closer to 20 after, and well, at least kind of get myself situated before stand up, and make sure I log in right at 12:30 for stand up. Loaded trucks last night. I was thinking about working the stuff at last night, but they were shorthanded on drivers and needed me as a driver in outbound. So that's what I did yesterday. I don't know what I'll do today. I don't know. I'm just gonna go in. I'm gonna start at my regular MP outbound stand up. I feel like I should talk to Dustin about the fact that I'm in negative UPT right now, just to confirm with him, hey, don't stress about it. I have plenty of PTO. However, just FYI, I'm just really struggling with a lot of personal depression, and things are not happy at home, and I'm just trying to do my best to pull through it, just so he kind of has a heads up on it, because I feel like he kind of has my back. Of course, it's really hard to say with shit like that. And after that, I don't know, maybe I'll go to another department, maybe I won't. It's been a while since I've done prep and receive, and I feel like I need to at least do a half shift over there just to make sure I don't lose my permissions as well. But on that note, I'm going to work. Thanks for coming with me on the drive. And if you haven't noticed, I'm finally up to date at posting these things. So yeah, you're finally watching something happen, yesterday as opposed to a week and a half ago. So how cool is that?